Hello, welcome to our final design for our capstone project for Marzetti frozen pasta. My name is Abby Poppy.
Andy McConnell.
I'm Mark Dufier.
And Ethan Leinen. In October 2021, automation was implemented at Marzetti on their packaging line. Before the automation, Marzetti was running around 3,500 cases per shift. After the implementation, Marzetti was averaging 2,200 cases per shift. With a significant decrease in production, Marzetti needed to send pasta to their Clive location to make up for lost time. Our group's goal was to bring Marzetti's cases per shift back to the 3,500 mark. Throughout the semester, we conducted over 15 hours of work sampling to collect data and hopefully see where Marzetti's problems were coming from. Through the work sampling, we identified some major problem areas in the packaging room, which is where we kept our focus on for the project. We observed many instances of manual tasks being performed, machine down with the operator and without the operator. This can be viewed on the graph to the right in the red, gray, and blue parts respectively. The graph on the left side shows an overview of value-added versus non-value-added tasks. Across the entire packaging room, there was an average of 46% non-value-added tasks out of all tasks observed. A further breakdown of the non-value-added tasks was conducted using a Pareto analysis. As you can see, the biggest problem areas were the taper, case erector, and the labeler. These three machines made up for around 70% of all the non-value-added tasks observed, which made these machines our focus for improving the production of cases on the packaging line.
Our group was able to meet with the machine vendor and identify significant issues at the taper and case erector that were responsible for manual tasks. At the taper, 4 main problems were found, including tape not cutting consistently, trailing tape not adhering, tape end stuck to itself, and tape wrinkled onto the case. These accounted for the 21% of manual tasks. Based on research and operator reviews, we created 1-point lessons for operators at both the case erector and the taper to solve these problems, as well as other common issues identified. Here's an example of a few 1-point lessons related to best maintenance procedures for the tape head and troubleshooting for the taper. For convenient access and to ensure best practice, these 1-point lessons were placed close to the machine.
While our team looked into root cause analyses for different machines such as the taper and labeler and scales, we learned through observation and interviews with Marzetti maintenance that vulnerable sensors are often struck by product or operators, and this can lead to miscalibration and sensor issues that can only be fixed by maintenance, and operators do not have the necessary expertise to correctly fix these issues without further errors arising downstream. So there are 2 sensors from the conveyors to the taper before the taper that trigger conveyor movement. Each of these is set up and oriented differently, so we provided 2 different options for each of these sensors. Both were required to be made out of steel, as is the case for all sensor guards that will be needed. The sensor guard on the top of the table on the right has a better layup for the specific sensor in question, and the sensor on the right has a more open bottom with protected top that will accommodate that shape for it. The third sensor down, that is by the labeler, there is one main sensor there that we are concerned with, and it is all taped up and secured manually. This is a very important sensor that triggers the swiping arm to apply a label to the back of the case, and if this sensor is miscalibrated, it can lead to manual tasks and other errors. This sensor could have the same setup as the first sensor shown and will also be made out of steel. And for the scales up by the pasta bagging room, there are 2 emergency stops that are used to stop the flow of pasta at each bagging area using airflow. And these can be often struck accidentally because they're knee height in a crowded area. So our group provided the gate cover that can be seen by Safety Technology International, which was also made out of steel for each of these emergency stops. To ensure standardization for setup procedures between operators, our group filmed and edited training videos for all operators to have access to. This will be especially helpful for new operators or operators that are changing to a different area. We took videos and edited videos for the highest common problem areas, which are the case erector and the taper. And this video that can be seen here is a 15-second clip from the case erector setup video that we provided to Marzetti.
Additionally, with these training videos, our team is also implementing training guides for each of the machines on the packaging line. With these training guides, experienced operators will train newer employees in each of these areas, and these new employees will have to independently complete these tasks before being allowed to work in an area by themselves. This will hopefully reduce the amount of manual tasks and ensure a standardized procedure for all areas. For the impact of our project, we are hoping to see an immense reduction of non-value added tasks from our current state analysis to after our future state design implementation. For example, for the taper, after implementing these 1-point lessons and the training guides and videos, we are hoping to see the manual tasks in this area to be reduced from 21% to 5%, and overall hope that the non-value added tasks should be closer to 36%. Same for the case erector. By implementing the 1-point lessons and training guides and videos, we are hoping to see that those manual tasks and non-value added tasks to be reduced immensely, as seen here in this graph. And finally, by the implementation of the labeler sensors, we're hoping to see the manual tasks due to that to be reduced by 15%. And with these implementations, this should allow Marzetti to reach their goal of 3,500 cases per shift and meet production. As for the economic impact, the total investment cost was $7,275. That was due to implementing the resources stated before and along with having the vendor come and visit. With the implemented resources, we are able to save Marzetti $361,550 due to the reduction of shipping to Clive to package the pasta that was unable to be packaged at the Altoona location. This will have the total net return of $354,275. Thank you for watching our capstone final presentation.